Eh?
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you are all welcome to today's book launch organized by the Zaria Psychological Society in honor of Professor Musa Balarabi for the meritorious services he rendered to Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria for the last 44 years, even when some of us were not born. Even when some of us were not born. He has been in the university rendering meritorious services with commitment, dedication, conscientiousness, and integrity. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the essence of our meeting this morning. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of the program properly, I would like to first and foremost recognize the presence of our father, the philanthropist, man of integrity, man of international recognition and reputation. I'm talking about the chairman of the occasion, Haji Monir Farouk, the Nadakin sister. Please, a round of applause to him. Beside him is another icon, another distinguished personality, intellectual, in person of Justice Bello. Please, a round of applause to him. I would also want to register our apology for starting 20-something minutes late. This is not in our character. You know, Professor Musa Balarabi has been a man that keeps to his words, keeps to his time, and everything. It's an epitome of a man of integrity. So we have to apologize because this is not the training he has given us. Before we move into the program properly, I think as I start with an opening prayers. I think individual opening prayers according to our faith for a minute for the success of this conference and book launch. We pray. Amen. Amen. Thank you very much. The next item on our agenda is the national anthem, followed by Ahmadu Bello University anthem. The national anthem, please shall we rise for the national anthem?
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribes and tongues differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all are proud to set our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace, oh back to honor, and this we can't escape. To hang on to our children, our banner without stain. Oh God of all creation, grant these our one request. Help us to build a nation when no man is oppressed. And so bring peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. confused and unseen. In learning and service, excellence is our goal. Ahmadu, Bello, University, and our dreams we shall achieve. We give thanks to Almighty, our strength. Beautiful inshallah, and the ways of good learning. Not to south, east to west, your name shall always be. Ahmadu, Bello, University, and I citadel of great learning.
We would like to continue to register our ineffable gratitude, deep-seated appreciation to Almighty God, the creator and the sustainer of heavens and earth. Out of his infinite mercies, he has created man as the high form of creation and provided him with everything he needs for his sustenance and well-being. The mighty rivers, the lofty mountains, the vast and deep oceans, and all the physical laws of cosmos were created for the benefit of man. God took so much care and bestowed so much benevolence and comfort of man. All what we could see in the physical world were created for the benefit of man. Therefore, man has to be grateful to the omnipotent. It is reported in one of the traditions of the prophet, when you thank Almighty God for a particular blessing, He will definitely add and multiply the blessings upon you. So we thank Almighty Allah for all the blessings, and we thank Him for sparing our lives to witness today, the day of euphoria, the day of celebration, a day to rejoice with our father, the father of educational psychology in Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, the father of educational psychology, not just in ABU, a person who has been recognized internationally as an erudite scholar of psychology. I'm talking about Professor Musa Balarabe, who is the celebrant of the day. Now, without much dilly-dally of any sort, I think it's pertinent we move to the next item on our agenda, talking about the introduction of the members of the high table. Now, so ladies and gentlemen, the chairman of the occasion, chairman of this August occasion, in person of Alhaji Munir Jafaru, the man that keeps us. Please, a round of applause to him as he is seated. The next person on the high table is our special guest of honor, talking about Justice Bello. Please, a round of applause to him. The next person we're going to invite to the high table, our special guest, is Alhaji Muhammad Balarabe. Please, a round of applause to him. He's our father, our mentor, and a noble personality. We wish him the best, good, sound health, and longer life and prosperity. The next person is Professor M.I. Yakasai, who is the Vice Chancellor of Sule Lamido University, Kafin House, Jigawa State. The next person to the high table is our chief host. I'm sorry, I should have called him earlier than now. Our chief host, talking about our amiable Vice Chancellor of Ahmadu Bello University in person of Professor Adamu Ahmed. The next person on the high table on our list is Professor Abdullahi Dalhatu, who is the Dean Faculty of Education. I'm sure they are on their way. You know, they have competing engagements, so I'm sure they will be on their way. Next one, our guest of honor,
I'm talking about Dr. Suleiman Balarabi, a former acting Vice Chancellor, Federal University of Education, Zaria. I'm sure he's also on his way. The next person is our mother, our mentor, our scholar. I'm talking about Professor Umar Abdul Wahid, former Provost, Federal College of Education, Zuba, former Dean, Faculty of Education, Sula Lamida University, Jigawa State. Thank you very much, Ma, for coming. I would equally want to invite to the high table Professor A.I. Sharifai, who is Assistant Director Extension, Monitoring and Evaluation, who is representing the Director of IAR to the high table. Please, a round of applause to him. Our Director, Academic Planning of the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Professor Bello Mukhtar, has just stepped out. He has come to register his respect and his support to this conference and to our celebrant, that he has indicated that he has a number of competing engagements. As such, he may not be able to stay longer with us. But we acknowledge him and we recognize his presence. Thank you. The next person is to the high table. We're inviting to the high table is Professor Ilyas. Professor Ilyas, please, to the high table. He is from the Department of Pharmaceutical Medicinal Chemistry. Please, a round of applause to him. The next one on the high table is Professor Abdul Jalal Ambaba. Professor Abdul Jalal Ambaba, please, to the high table. Dr. Abdul Jalal Ambaba, very pertinent to note that he is here to represent the Speaker of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in person of Right Honorable Dr. Abbas Tajuddin. You're welcome. Please, more round of applause to him. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, I would like you very quickly recognize the presence of the following individuals and companies and organizations. The first on my list would like to recognize the presence of Nigerian Bottling Company. Please, their representative should indicate. The next one is we are recognizing the presence of Techno Mobile Kaduna region. Please, they should also come to the high table. Nigerian Bottling Company, representative of the Nigerian company, Nigerian Bottling Company should come to the fore, the high table. The next one is Techno Mobile, a representative of Techno Mobile. We are also inviting them to come to the high table. We are equally recognizing and inviting Infinix Mobile Company representative to come to the high table. The next one is Oriamo Company Abuja region. Their representative, if they are close by, should also come to the high table. The seat has been reserved for the celebrant. I intentionally delayed it because I want to call him at the last, so that the moment we call him, we start the program. I also recognize MTN Nigeria Zaria office, and I also request that their representative should come to the high table. 7up Bottling Company, they are also in attendance here with us. We recognize them and we ask them to come to the high table. ITEL Company Kaduna Region 2 should also come to the high table, please. National Union of Food, Beverage and Tobacco Employees are highly recognized and acknowledged, and we want them to come to the high table too. Alhaji Alassan, okay, which we have called him. Alhaji Alassan B. Abdul Wahab is a Chief Executive Officer at Bello Trading Company. We recognize your presence. Please, his representative should come to the high table. The representative of Alhaji Hassan B. Abdul Wahab, the Chief Executive Officer Bello Trading Company. His representative should come to the high table. The next one is the representative of United Bank for Africa, UBA, Zaria branch. And then the next one is First Bank Nigeria Limited, Samaru branch. Please, we want their representatives to come to the high table. Chiki Republic, Kaduna office are equally here. Please, we want them to come to the high table, their representative. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to recognize and acknowledge the presence of our professor, Professor Agwani of the Faculty of Education, the former Dean of Education. I would like to equally recognize the presence of Professor Omar Musa, the former Head of Department, Human Kinetics. Okay, the next person is our prof, our head of department, our amiable professor, the head of department, science, education. You're welcome, Professor. I also want to recognize juncture, I would like to invite the person on whose sake we are all gathered here, speaking about our celebrant, our father, our mentor, man of integrity, Professor Musa Balari. Please, a warm round of applause. A warm round of applause. I want the former Vice Chancellor, Ahmadu Musa Eradua, Professor Felusa Mama, to accompany me to the high table, please. Please, more round of applause until he gets to his high table. All here, we recognize your presence and we thank you for coming. Please, a round of applause to IFRCN, the Kalmabori, and other representatives. I would continue to update you the important dignitaries and personalities that are around here as we get into the program properly. At this juncture, may I take a second or a minute to introduce to you the celebrant and his family members. Please, we want you to rise up, the celebrant and his family members, to rise up for recognition for a minute. Please, the celebrant and his family members, wherever they are, they should rise up for recognition. Celebrant, I'm talking about Professor Musa Balari and his family members. Please rise up for recognition once again. Please, a round of applause to them. A round of applause to them. A round of applause to them. Thank you very much. What a noble family. What a noble family. Thank you. Now may I invite I would like to recognize and call upon the representative of the Dean of Education, Professor A. Dada, to the high table for his welcome address on behalf of the Dean Faculty of Education. Please, a round of applause to the representative of the Dean of Education. Malam, I would also, before his speech, I would like to recognize the presence of our Malam Tahir, our Malam Maaz, who has been hiding, but we have cited you and we recognize your presence. The Dean of Education, please, we want you to come to the podium for your welcome address on behalf of the Dean of Education.
he is such a very simple person. If you don't stay far away from him, move very close to him. Person you are dealing with. And sorry to take time. I am supposed to just welcome you and wish you well. But I feel touched that I want to say something that is very unique about him. I had an opportunity to be very close to him. I frequent, and one day and come and explain what I understand from that book. And it's Prof, we will never forget him. He has
all gathered here today, the conference of education, economy, and artificial intelligence, organized by the Zaria Ecological Society, honor of our friend, Brother Ahmadu, who have been made to believe about to love you, Professor Ahmadu, friend, a brother, our paths crossed when we went to College of Art and Science in 1974. And since then, I have been together with you. When I got the invitation to attend, had short my trip, come back, all that to attend this occasion physically. I'm glad and grateful to Almighty God who has made it possible for me to finally attend this very important occasion. Please congratulate you. I'm proud of you and I wish you happiest of all moments. Our guests who have come from far and near, I want to thank you most sincerely for finding time to attend this important meeting. Thank you, Almighty God. Each and every one of us, thank you back to our second destination. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Please, more round of applause. Thank you very much, sir, for giving us that historical antecedent. We appreciate you so much, and we pray to the omnipotent Allah to continue to guide you, bless you throughout your life. The next, before calling the next people, I'm talking about the family members and some friends of Professor Musa Balarabe to tell us one or two things about him. May I take this opportunity to recognize the presence of Dr. Habiba Isa, who is the head of Department, Educational Foundations, Gombe State University, and her team, the whole team from Gombe. Please, we acknowledge you. Please, a round of applause to her. She has come with her students, with her colleagues all the way from Gombe to respect our mentor, Professor M. Bello. May I at this juncture give the mic to Alhaji Muhammad Balarabi to tell us one or two things about Professor Musa Balarabi.
I was 5.5 years older than Professor Musa Balarabi. He was born October 1955. I was born January 1950. From next January, I will be 76. When he was born, I was old enough to be the parent boy of the family. And we sent neighbors to purchase my mother and our father. So I know Professor Musa Balarabi. Besides, Professor Musa Balarabi. Besides, while I attended Ahmadu Primary School in Zaria, he attended St. John's. After that, when I was in St. John's College, Kaduna, what you call Amy College today, opposite the State University Castle, Professor Musa Balarabi had a stint, some few months stint in St. John's College before he was transferred to the most prestigious college in northern Nigeria, Zaria College. Even though I said the most prestigious in northern Nigeria, and indeed in Nigeria, we, our St. John's College in those days, pride ourselves on superiority to other secondary schools because I didn't study my units, my alma mater. We studied both in sports, in academics, in passion, in whatever was superior to most of the secondary schools in those days. And here, Zaria College is the rest. So Musa, what I say, I probably know more than anybody sitting here today. It's a very brilliant human being. It's a very devoted human being. It's a very disciplined human being. Very disciplined. I know very well because we grew up together. Wherever we go together, whatever our parents so close to us, we so identical close to stand out for whatever occasion. Musa, very brilliant student, very disciplined, and became an honorable person who had brought up his children in a very disciplined graduates, including a doctor who is head of department in the University of Education, Zaria. He has devoted his life to his family. He is very religious. I can attest to that. It's our pleasure, our gratitude to God for the course and care. Please go and tell he is serving today, and may God Almighty continue to prolong his life. I always remember that I am retired 30 years ago. I'm still there.
I would like to also register our appreciation to the family for bringing us this genius who has contributed immensely to the development of humanity. We thank you so much, and may God continue to bless the family. He is a friend
to the celebrant, talking about Justice Bello, who would be given the mic to speak about the personality of Professor Mustafa Larabi. Justice, sir.
English as I said, all the professors here, other invitees, members of the immediate family of the celebrant of Musa, and the extended family. It is my pleasure and indeed very rare of it. I want to attend the programs of the academic. I can see largely here more than 90% constituted members of the universities of their representation, actually, that shows the popularity of Professor Musa within academia and beyond. But I want to say this quickly. I want to review some really overly because I called him and whispered into his ears a preliminary objection. Because when I noticed this, there was nowhere, even the senior brother was indicated to make a comment. Any other person in the same environment and say, you know, like Professor Musa, I can say me and him, and Monsignor brother who were later, not the same day, but within the same environment, ancient city of Zaria, which is Kufena and Tukur, is part and parcel of Kufena, and was the days where reformers were instructed or factor. I wish I had known that because the writing that is the foundation of our history, and I believe up to tomorrow it cherishes our heritage. I believe one day we'll have somebody that will go and identify Kupena, particularly the areas where the emirates are, so that we don't forget our history totally. I went to Morocco, I went to many places, when they have changed, where the seats of the leadership are being never beautify them. So posterity to come and see. In our ages, when they are all the Ghana and demolished, even like that. That is the relation of our history. Now, what I'm saying, if Professor Musa is a friend indeed, not well indeed, not necessarily well indeed, is indeed a very important personality, calm, cautious, and always ready to embrace pressure. Also to do for you what you do right message. Professor Musa, is really within personal person of Adam. So I truly congratulate you for rising from grass to grace. You started your lecturer and today you are putting the apples. It's not just a pride for this university. We, the people of Tukur, we are happier and we will do more. Unlike us in legal practice, the day of your going out, we come out professionally dressed and we sit there. I was telling Muhammad already I was instructing Professor Muslim, the academic circle there, put him outside honestly, so that he will fill that down. It's really something else. I personally thank God, serve my family, that I'm here today. I would have made the greatest, the very expensive absenteeism. Yesterday, he called me when I was in Kano. I went to Katsina, a wedding in the house of Uma Energy and Papa. Left in Kano. I was encouraged to come to Zaria. Initiative to show that God is always with you and with us. He said, are you really likely to be able to come? Eventually, I decided not to reveal myself. I said, I'm already on ground. Thank God, my Kitu is back. I went to his house, had lunch, and then we discussed about coming. I proceeded to God, continue to work you. The end, your children will benefit from that. Wherever they go, we recognize them as children of that person that can give them education and knowledge. This is what we will have. Just a little bit, turning to our senior brother. I heard him talk about primary school. I went to St. Bartholomew's primary school in Zaria. I know very well that before you can go to schools higher grades, you must perform very well. I don't know which one is ahead. Is this St. John's or St. Bartholomew's, Usasa, or St. Paul's, where a lot of the students out of St. Bartholomew's move into. But eventually I didn't go to St. Paul's. I moved to Kaduna Secondary School, where I had my education, and I know at our time, Kaduna Secondary School, the other first, second on YA. I am very proud of it. Those of you from Kaduna and who school there, please clap for me. And that is why I'm rooted there. When I arrived Kaduna, I didn't make it. So the family of Kaduna were helping at the time. Because one of them was my classmate. My mother was very lovely, was very fantastic. So everything about the house was around there. So I will say this. I thank you for the opportunity, MC, for responding to my notice of preliminary objection, for granting my prayers. I can tell you the entire people of Timbuktu, a fraction itself, are very pleased that our own has risen to that level and has educated the globe. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, sir, for the thorough explanation and extrapolation about the celebrant, Professor Musa Balarabe, and the history that you have actually provided with us. Thank you very much for that. I had wanted to invite another member of the family, but I think one of the members indicated that the speech by Haji Muhammad Balarabe suffices. So be it. The next item on our agenda, even though the light is off, we're waiting for them to on the gen. Please, sorry for any inconveniences. Before then, may I use this opportunity to acknowledge and appreciate the presence of Professor M.I. Baji, who is the Director of Continuing Education and E-Learning, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida University, Lapai. You're welcome, sir, for coming. In spite of your tight schedule, you have created time out of no time to be here. We appreciate you. He is equally one of the PhD students of Professor Musa Balarabe. You see, Professor Musa Balarabe has produced number of professors, some of whom are actually serving vice chancellors,
some are provost colleges of education, representing different parts of the human endeavor. So he has produced number of personalities. So Professor Baji is one of his PhD students. May I also acknowledge the presence of Professor Abu Yusufu, who is the head of Department Library and Information Science, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. He has been a father, very supportive fellow to the Zaria Psychological Society and the Department of Educational Psychology and Counseling. Thank you very much, sir, for everything. May I equally, at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate the presence of Dr. Muhammad Nasai, who is an LVT coordinator of the Faculty of Education, Ahmadu Bello University. Dr. Nasai, you're welcome, and thank you for coming. Our mother also, Professor F.K. Lawal from Science Education, who has retired but never tired. She has always been up and doing. She's mentally and physically strong. We appreciate your coming. Thank you very much, Mommy. We wish you long life and prosperity. Professor Marie, the head of Department Science Education, has been very supportive fellow, very dedicated fellow. We appreciate you every now and then. Thank you very much. May I also appreciate the presence of Mr. Ojo from the Iya Abakar Institute of Computing, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, who is a former student of the department, student of the Professor Musa Balarabi, and he has been very supportive to our students in guiding them in data analysis and a host of others. I would like to also appreciate the presence of Ahmad Machido, who is the President Zazzau Emirate Development. May I recognize the presence of Honorable Sani Ibrahim Tanku, the Wakil Labaran Zazzau. The Wakil Labaran Zazzau is here very much present. Sir, you are very much welcome. We appreciate your coming. Honorable Abubakar Sani, the mother came to Kutukur, is highly appreciated. We acknowledge your presence. Thank you very much for creating time out of no time to be here. Ajia Salamat Lukman Muhammad from NTA Kaduna is highly recognized. We acknowledge your presence, Ajia. May I also acknowledge the presence of Dr. Mahmoud Sarki, who is from Federal University, Duse, but is currently a registrar in one of the polytechnics in Jigawa State. We thank you so much. He's also one of the students of Professor Musa Balarabi. He has also been helping our students getting admission in Jigawa, Federal University, Duse, and other places. Thank you very much for keeping the promises. At this juncture, may I seek the permission of the chairman of the occasion, Alaji Munir Jafaru, the Madakin Zazzau, to move to the next agenda, which is the citations of some selected tributes. Number of professors, academics, and intellectuals have taken their time to write tribute to Musa Balarabi. The following are the list of those who have written tribute in honor of Ibrahim Baji, Dr. Amina Lami Abdullahi, Professor Aisha Indo Mohammed, the current Provost, Federal College of Education, Jama'ari, has equally written. These are lists of professors, academics who have written tribute about the personality of Professor Musa Balarabi. But due to time factor, we're not going to ask all of them to read the tribute. However, we are going to handpick some at random so that they read it out to the hearing of our celebrant and to the hearing of his family to know the services your family member has rendered over the years, the service to humanity, which is a service to God, the member of your family. But I have mentioned earlier that we appreciate the family because they have actually produced this brilliant international icon, Professor Mbala. Please, a round of applause to him. Without much dilly-dally of any sort, I think it's pertinent I call on the first person to read the citation. I would like to call on my mother, our mentor, Professor Abdul, for the citation of Professor Musa. Yeah. May I, at this juncture before our mother, may I introduce to you the representative before our mother's tribute. May I take this opportunity to most sincerely recognize and appreciate the presence of the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, in person of Professor Bello, who is representing the Vice Chancellor Ahmadu Bello University. Please, more round of applause to him. Out of their engagement, they have created time to come to honor our icon of international reputation. We appreciate that. We never take that for granted. Our mother.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Chairman of this occasion, the Madakin Zazo, Raji Jafar, the Vice Chancellor of the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, the Chairman of the Asian, this is Bello, distinguished professors here present, family members of our friend, our colleague, and our celebrant, Professor Musa Arabi, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am here today to say just a few words about my colleague, my brother. He called me their mother, but I call him also my mentor. So he is there. He has always been that. Calm, collected, unassuming. And that is why I titled my tribute with the caption, "He came, he saw, conquered." So, why I stated that is because I know the journey. If not the entire journey, there's some milestones on the journey of this gentleman, distinguished scholar, disciplinarian, and someone who has committed his life to academics, Professor Musa Arabi. I was in the classroom when I came for my master's degree in 1983 at the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. I can see some of my classmates here present. Professor Goni, and I was sitting alone when in the postgraduate classroom, alone by myself, and someone picked and hesitated, and then came, approached me. You know, I was young. I was saying, I was telling myself, not again. And he came and, lady, would you like to work in this university? What? Work in the university? He said, yes. I'm not going to work in the university. Maybe he has forgotten. Maybe he has that memory. Said, well, think about it. Left. 2 days later, again, he approached me. Have you thought about it? I said, no. Besides, my parents will not allow me. He left. How long later, he said, the head of the department wants to see you. So I said, okay, I went to him. And the head of the department, our father, Dr. Abdul Salam Abubakar Sambu, and I went to him. He looked at me and said, so you don't want to work in the university? I said, no. Why? My parents will not allow me. What if you talk to your parents and convince them that I'm from Kano and I just came to have a master's? These are dogged people. They can recognize and pick. They followed me to my parents' house and got me working here in the university. So, couldn't I be present when this, my own fairy, with the magic wand, I came through the door, is being celebrated. I should be the first on the celebration list. And here I am. I am glad that God has reserved to tell this story today. So, back in 1983, when we joined the master's class in psychology, in the Department of Education, Musa Balarabe was already there, young and vibrant. He later proceeded for his PhD at the University of Edinburgh. When he came back, he was repositioned, focused, and full of promise. It was clear that he had a cause to believe in. That is academic life and psychology. He pursued this course with a passion none of us, his colleagues, would match or endure. You know, to be in the university with the ASU and the federal government and ASU and the rest of them for 41 years, it's not a small battle. For 45 years, it's not a small battle. Some of us left and came, and left and came. Some of us for this, for that, but he was always there, committed. He persevered against all odds and built a towering career. Several of them whose dreams have been fulfilled have come to honor him today. Today, he stands apart, towering above all. He, of all of us who started the department, is probably the only man standing it. Mukaji of late memory, blessed memory, Dr. Ayani, late, blessed memory, Andrew Ekoja, left, Dr. Mrs. Okitahi, left not too long ago. I left for 30 years and came back and left again. He was holding the fortress and we are here today. So, all of us know Professor Balarabe, for his discipline, had no pretenses to political views or cultural monarchy. With all due respect, he had no respect. No student accused him of extortion. No student accused him of harassment. those students to say that Balarabe has refused that I graduate. Balarabe is a taskmaster in his own right. It eventually got to thank him for that. So, I think he is entitled to the many accolades we are ready to advance to him. Please take it, Professor Balarabe. Have a right to it. Okay. So, on this note, I must hardly say congratulations to Professor Musa Balarabe for conquering the heights, raising the standards, and the robust army that thrive where they are today. Oh, Professor Musa Balarabe, I wish you long life. I wish your family well. I wish your brother would have longer life. Really, that he was there and he has always been there for you. So I wish you long life, good health, and continuous prosperity as you retire from active academic life. Let me tell you, life begins at 70. So don't despair. You can start all over again. Remember this, Professor Musa Balarabe.
Thank you very much. That has been our mother, Professor Abdulwahid, whom we are privileged to learn under her too before she left for Gawa State University.
Representative of the Vice Chancellor, celebrant and other important dignitaries. I welcome you all to this gathering. We need to celebrate exit of our mentor, our father, in fact, our everything. I am a professor produced by Professor Musa Balarabe. And I was bold enough to tell you that knowledge I gathered from Musa Balarabe. In fact, I've been searching for adjectives for a very long time to use in order to qualify his personality, but I cannot still find any. So I'm very sorry for that. They say we should read about it, so let me briefly read what I have to distribute. Celebrating a legacy of wisdom, education in educational psychology. Professor Musa Balarabe has made a significant contribution to research. His work published numerous journals and presented at international conferences. Your dedication to achieving knowledge in educational psychology has not only enriched the academic community, but also paved way for the future research. Your wealth of knowledge, experience, insight has inspired colleagues and students alike to push boundaries to explore new frontiers in understanding human behavior in a more practical perspective. Sir, it's very important to note that throughout his tenure, Professor Musa Balarabe has practicalized and exemplified the true essence of precision education psychologists behind all the lectures delivered. Education psychologists behind all the lectures delivered. It is important to appreciate the personal touches that Professor just into. He has been a confident, source of wisdom, and a true academic father. He celebrated our success, supported us through our struggle, and encouraged us to believe in ourselves. The warmth and care with which he interacted with students and colleagues alike have created a sense of community that will resonate long after retirement. As you are opening a new chapter in your life, Professor Musa Balarabe, know that your legacy will continue to flourish within the ambit of university and beyond. Your influence, teaching, and kindness live on in the hearts and mind of those whom you have inspired. While we will miss your presence and your insightful guidance, we are excited for as you embark on a new journey filled with relaxation and pursuit of passions that perhaps have been put aside. We sincerely extend our warmest and deepest congratulations on your retirement, and thank you for extraordinary contribution to the field of education psychology, and to each of us personally. May your next chapter be fulfilled and enriched as the profound impact you have made in our lives. We appreciate you, Professor Musa Balare, all that you have done to us, and will always be cherished and remembered as an exceptional and expert in the field of educational psychology. Before I finish, let me tell you one unique aspect about Professor Musa Balare. Majority of us are reading Professor from far. And sincerely speaking, Professor is an epitome of knowledge. Epitome of knowledge. He has touched, in fact, there is no aspect of psychology that Professor Musa Balare cannot delve deep into. There is so much.
Kaduna, who is also a disciple to Professor Musa Balarabi. Professor N. Ilyasu, Faculty of Pharmacy, I think I have mentioned that. Dr. Amina Lami Abdullahi is from Kaduna Polytechnic. She's also a student under Professor Musa Balarabi. Professor Patricia Ekwembo, forgive my pronunciation, Department of Chemistry, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, is highly appreciated. Please, we acknowledge your presence, ma'am. Dr. Nasai Umar, the LBT coordinator, is here representing the Dean of Education because the Dean is unavoidably absent because he is having some health challenges. Professor Tajuddin Surukat from the Department of English, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, is highly appreciated. Is in our midst. Thank you very much. The next person to read the citation is Professor Maruf N. Tagarawa, who is going to be reading Professor Dominic Ugoke citation tribute. So, Prof, please, we want you to read verbatim due to time factor. We just handpicked some tribute. We want it to be read verbatim so we get into the nitty-gritty. But before the launching, I would like to indicate that our Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, is going to be invited before the launching of the book for his remark. Okay, Nguke is from the University of Nsukka, University of Nigeria in Nsukka. Prof, please come and do justice to the citation. Verbatim, please. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, the celebrants, the Vice Chancellor here represented, other academic groups, welcome, thank you. I stand in here to read the presentation of Professor Musa Balarabe by Professor Dominic Ugoke from University of Nigeria in Nsukka. He said, Professor Musa Balarabe, it is with immense joy that we celebrate you as an accomplished teacher of teachers. You have traversed university teaching like an Iroko tree, grown from master seat to academic height. The Iroko tree. Iroko tree have grown the Iroko tree you have not only mentored hundreds of young men and women to greatness, but the Iroko grew branches, college, and shed like young mustards. God Almighty will give you good health, well-being. We wish you a blissful celebration and your evening. Professor Musa Balarabe, please do continue good work you are known for. Also, continue to mentor and encourage others to do greatness. We wish you best of luck, selfless, time conscious, and very humble.
Of the Department of Human Kinetics and Health Education. Next, the Department of Human Kinetics and Health Education. Next is going to be
the Chief Host, Vice Chancellor, Ahmadu Bello University. The Chief Host, Vice Chancellor, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. The celebrants and the family, Professor Musa Balarabe, ladies, distinguished ladies, good morning. I want to start by saying that though I am not in the department, but whoever has gone through the Faculty of Education as a student must have been imparted by Professor Balarabe Musa, directly or indirectly. Directly in the sense that those of us that took education courses, he taught us. Indirectly, for those of us that still are not in the department, but were staff of the faculty, have learned through his sons during the faculty board meeting. We learned the rules that governs Ahmadu Bello University Zaria and their applications through. We are very grateful. Let me read quickly through what I've written as a tribute. As the curtains was drawn on the tenure of Professor Balarabe Musa being the pioneer head of Department of Psychology and Adult Education, Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, and a new HOD then has emerged, I felt indebted to write this piece of tribute to an exceptional leader, mentor, and academic icon. Professor Musa's remarkable journey as HOD has left an indelible mark on the department, the university, and the lives of countless individuals in the nooks and crannies of Nigeria. As a transformational leader, Professor Musa's leadership style was characterized by vision, wisdom, and compassion. He followed suit, copying 60% of his predecessors and 40% of his God-given wisdom. He brought a sense of purpose and direction to the department, moving well with senior colleagues, inspiring junior colleagues and students to strive for excellence. Under his guidance, the department has witnessed significant growth, innovation, and transformation, cementing its position as a center of academic excellence in the Faculty of Education in Zaria. Prominently among such was the division of labor on who will do the best. He ensured that all senior colleagues took part in supervising affiliation examination and served to monitor the conduct of semester examination in the department. To his credit, the department has never recorded any examination irregularity case throughout his tenure. A mentor and role model, Professor Musa was more than just a HOD, he was a mentor, role model, figure to many, including myself, who served under him as a staff and student under his watch. This responsibility widens my written and spoken English and expanded my managerial and administrative prowess. His doors were always open, and his willingness to listen, advise, and support was unparalleled. He took a keen interest in the well-being and success of his students and colleagues, often going above and beyond to ensure their growth and development. This was evident in his attitude towards Student Week, where he brought all staff to grace the occasion on a yearly basis. And as a passerby, I had one student saying, see psychology and guidance students with their lecturers, including HOD, celebrating their week. As a scholar and educator, Professor Musa was a renowned scholar and educator in the field of psychology. His teaching and research expertise inspired of learning in his students, and his publications contributed significantly to the body of knowledge in his field. He was a sought-after speaker, presenter, and collaborator. His academic legacy will continue to inspire future generations. At this juncture, I wish to remind you, sir, of the encouragement to publish books on psychology and guidance specialization from continuous seminars carried out in the department, being co-mandates of the department. a last legacy. As Professor Musa hands over the reins to his successor, we reflect on his enduring legacy. He has built a department that is stronger, more resilient, and more united than ever before. He has inspired a new generation of scholars, educators, leaders who will carry his vision and values forward. He has left an indelible mark on the academic landscape of ABU Zaria and beyond. As Professor Musa hands over the reins to his successor, Professor Aisha M.I., we reflected on his enduring legacy. He has built a department that is stronger, more resilient, and more united than ever before. During his tenure, the department had never took last in all affairs in the faculty. He has inspired a new generation of scholars, educators, and student leaders who will carry his vision and values forward. He has left an indelible mark on the welfare of members of staff through the Welfare Committee. Professor Balarabe Musa responds quickly to all mails and uses his initiative to collaborate to act diligently. What we see as a serious problems to him is a laughing matter. He just smiles, gives you small challenge to ensure we learn how to make constructive decisions in solving problems. He makes sure the department works as a family and was an advocate for students, both undergraduate and postgraduate, within their respective residency period in the university without undue delay. Another legacy left by his leadership was ensuring that staff and postgraduate students attend conferences and present papers therein. He facilitates room for transportation to that effect. The community outreach program and counseling, the working library, the guidance laboratory, and the smart classroom, that the career training for psychology and guidance students, the inch-free internship for leadership and life. The beautification of the department with educative process were to his credit and are worthy of mention. I salute Professor Balarabe Musa for his exceptional leadership, mentorship, and scholarship. As we celebrate his achievement, honor his legacy, and wish him all the best in his future endeavors. Your impact, Professor Musa, will never be forgotten by my kind. Thank you, Professor Musa.
Thank you very much, the former Department, Human Kinetics and Health Education, ABU Zaria. The next is our mother, Professor Hadiza Ahmed Tukur. We want to see how we can make it snappy because we have other things to attend to. The next person is Dr. Habiba Isa. Please get ready. Prof.
The chairman of the occasion, in person of Alhaji Munir Jafaru, the chief host, the Vice Chancellor of Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, ably represented by the EBC admin, all important and special guests here present. Good morning. You can see that I'm being hurried, so maybe I should go straight to the tributes. In the quiet corridors of academia, where wisdom is cultivated and futures are shaped, few figures have stood as tall and unwavering as Professor Musa Balarabe. As he retires from a life of meritorious service, we pause to honor a man whose legacy is etched not only in the annals of the university, but in the hearts of all who had the privilege to learn from, work with, or simply know him. Professor Musa Balarabe's journey has been one of relentless pursuit of knowledge and an unyielding commitment to truth. His lectures were more than lessons. They were experiences that challenged minds and stirred souls. With a voice both gentle and commanding, he inspired generations of students to think critically, act ethically, and dream boldly. You can see that. His scholarship, rooted in rigor and relevance, has enriched his field, educational psychology, and elevated the university's reputation on the global stage, evident in his international recognition and awards. Beyond the classroom, Professor Musa Balarabe was a mentor, a guide, a beacon of integrity. He championed collaboration, fostered innovation, and nurtured a culture of excellence that will endure long after his departure. But perhaps his greatest contribution lies in his service to humanity, whether through community outreach, policy advocacy, or quiet acts of kindness. Professor Musa Balarabe lived the values he taught. He reminded us that education is not merely about acquiring knowledge, but about using it to uplift others and transform society. As we celebrate his retirement, we do not mark an end, but a continuation of influence, of inspiration, and of impact. Professor Musa Balarabe leaves behind not just a legacy, but a challenge to carry forward the torch of wisdom, compassion, and service that he held so high. I want at this junction to specially thank Professor Musa Balarabe personally. I joined the department in 2011 when he was the pioneer head of department. I did have some challenges which has made me, I joined as a lecturer too, I'm today a professor, and I want to thank you especially for the challenges and the encouragement that made me who I am today. Thank you very much, sir. May Allah continue to reward you as you carry on in life. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much. That has been our mother, our Professor Hadiza Ahmed Tukur. Thank you for that tribute. The next person is the head of department, Educational Foundations, Gombe State University, Dr. Habiba Isa. Please come very quickly for your tribute. She has come all the way from Gombe and she brought a number of colleagues and students to celebrate her father, her mentor, Professor Musa Balarabe. Over to you. A tribute was made very specially, so much so that she has it in a frame, so she's going to read it very verbatim.
Thank you so much for permitting me to stand on the already established protocol. Professor Musa Balarabe, a living legend wrapped in garlands of roses. In the cherished history of modernity, only triumphant academic legends are called to the podium. When the first in any discipline are called, only the best come forward to the forum. When scholarly professors are called, only professors that met professors come to the table. My tribute today is akin to that of a general in the war front. Professor Musa Balarabe represents special breed of rare persona and a generation of towering academic giants. The Edinburgh-trained professor of excellence aptly stands with the motto of the University of Edinburgh, his alma mater, Nectemere Nectimide, which simply means neither rashly nor timidly. Myself and many others, mentored by no other than this erudite psychologist and an international scholar of repute, who legendary stories revered and credited him to have also shaped the academic pursuits of great men, some of whom later became vice chancellors, established academics, and accomplished captains of various industries. The experiences garnered and the lessons learned for being a student provided by Professor Musa Balarabe is itself another degree. I thought for a moment that the Scottish poet and author Tobias Smollett was referring to Professor Musa Balarabe when he wrote in his famous Enlightenment Drive of Edinburgh in the 18th century that Edinburgh is a hub of genius. This description was silly in reference to Professor Musa Balarabe that we know. At the formative stage of our young citadel of learning, the Gombe State University, we had the rare privilege of mentorship by Professor Musa Balarabe, who who dutifully provided the intellectual direction of the startup of the PGDE programs, Masters and PhD in Educational Psychology and Guidance and Counseling. His benevolence at sharing knowledge and illuminating the frontiers of educational psychology is beyond the four walls of Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. With a deep sense of appreciation, we today place on record our sincere gratitude to Professor Musa Balarabe, who not only teach and supervise our academic growth, but also by providing intellectual focus that makes impact in so many homes. To me, and a lot more, scattered all over around the world, he is a reservoir of knowledge, a symbol of exemplary moral rectitude, and the finest in academic erudition. His philosophy of doing the right thing all the times endeared him to so many. I want to Stilly and I are indebted to your ambience of love and shared vision for my personal academic accomplishments. Even as I read this piece of tribute, I feel the essence of your astute reverence, reminiscent of my school days. Such is the respect I have for this statesman. May your retirement bring joy and light you brought into the life of so many of us. As we draw the curtain to an illustrious career of a living legend, a climax of this tribute is your decoration with a garland of laurels placed over your nexa. We are forever grateful for being your prodigious children. Thank you for the unquantifiable contributions that you have made. We eternally treasure every single minute that you toil to make many of us modest students of yourself. Rest assured that your legacy will be sustained similar to that of Edward Lee Thorndike. Thank you for providing the fondest memories of our greatness for our emulation. May the Almighty Allah continue to bless you abundantly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The head of department, Educational Foundations, University, Obi State University. I present a tribute to the scene of everyone. Thank you very much. Last but one speakers is Dr. Muhammad Shafiu, who is, please come very quickly for your tribute, sir. And then the last is Dr. G. Aliko, the Assistant in Faculty of Education. And before your tribute, please you do the reading verbatim. Before then, I would like to acknowledge the presence of the representative of Africa. He's representing their team and he's one among our sponsors. We thank you so much for coming and for contributing towards the success of this program. Thank you.
Thank you, MC. Mr. Chairman and the other distinguished members here present, our mentors and our good friends seated. Permit me to read out a tribute to our own dear Professor Musa Balarabe. I tagged it a beacon of educational psychology. As Professor Musa Balarabe prepares to retire from active service, we pause to celebrate a towering figure whose life has been a master class in education, scholarship, and mentorship. Born in Zaria, Professor Balarabe's journey from St. George's Primary School to the hallowed halls of the University of Edinburgh reflects a relentless pursuit of knowledge and excellence. Joining Ahmadu Bello University in 1981, he rose through the ranks with distinction. His career, spanning over 4 decades of transformative teaching, research, and service. From his early days as a classroom teacher in Cross River State, to his professorship and sabbaticals at institutions across Nigeria, Professor Balarabe has shaped minds and molded futures. His contributions to undergraduate and postgraduate education are monumental. Over 200 undergraduate projects, more than 145 postgraduate theses, and 68 doctoral supervisions bear testament to his enduring impact. His scholarly outputs, spanning 40 peer-reviewed articles, 16 monographs, and 43 conference papers, has enriched the field of educational psychology both locally and globally. Beyond academia, Professor Balarabe's service to UNICEF, his involvement in the rights-based workshops, and his commitments to community development reflect a scholar deeply attuned to societal needs. His leadership within the university, marked by 19 administrative roles and 27 professional honors, underscores his unwavering commitment to institutional growth. A member of the esteemed bodies like the British Psychological Association and the Nigerian Psychological Association, Professor Balarabe exemplifies intellectual rigor and ethical leadership. His hobbies, fishing, gaming, and gardening, reveal a man of balance, humility, and joy. As he steps into retirement, we honor not just a professor, but a mentor, a pioneer, and a national treasure. Ladies and gentlemen, may his legacy continue to inspire generations of educators and psychologists across the globe. Thank you, Professor Musa Balarabe. Your light will never dim, inshallah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Shafiu, who is from Guidance and Counseling Section, Umar Musaya, Eradua University. Thank you very much. Federal University, the head of department, sorry, sir, the head of department, Federal University Dusama. Please pardon me for that. May I also at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, acknowledge the presence of our colleague, very senior colleague. I'm talking about the former director, what do you call it? Former director, Dr. S.A. Adisa, Counseling Center, Ahmadu Bello, the longest serving director, Dr. S.A. Adisa. Please a round of applause to him. I think it is your charisma that has confused me. So thank you very much for coming. The next person is to invite Dr. G, the Assistant Dean, Faculty of Education, for his presentation, very brief presentation. But I would like to inform the distinguished ladies and gentlemen and the chairman of this August occasion that immediately after Dr. Liko's presentation, we get into the main crux of today's program, which is the book launching. That is immediately after Dr. Liko's presentation, Associate Professor Dr. Liko. But then before then, the speech by the Deputy Vice Chancellor Admin, Professor Bello Sabo, will be taken before the launching. So please get it right. Thank you.
The chairman of this occasion, my acting Ahmadu Jafaru, happens to be a father to us. The special guest of honor, the celebrants, family of Professor Musa Balarabe, invited guests, members of the press, good afternoon. What I'm going to read is not a citation. 3 days ago, as part of planning for this program, I shared a post on WhatsApp group in our faculty platform as to the challenges await us when erudite scholars like Professor Musa Balarabe are leaving us. So I raised some challenges, and the organizers of this program feel that it is relevant for me to come and actually present it before this gathering. I'm very much aware of the procedural issues in the university, and I'm going to present these challenges. Challenges posed by the vacuum of retiring professors in the Faculty of Education, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. The retirement of long-serving professors in the Faculty of Education creates a significant vacuum, posing several challenges for the department, students, and remaining faculty members. These challenges often center around the loss of experience, institutional memory, and capacity in teaching, research, and service. I've itemized some points. Number one, loss of expertise, institutional memory, and leadership. Retiring professors hold deep specialized expertise in niche areas of educational theory, practice, and pedagogy that are critical to specific programs. This knowledge is not easily replaced, especially in fields where expertise may be scarce. In educational psychology and counseling, for example, Professor Iya Padeni and Professor Dominic Oleaba retired last year alone. Already, Professor Aisha Indo Mohammed is on secondment, while Professor K. Mahmoud is on sabbatical. While we are currently planning for a send-forth in honor of Professor Musa Balarabe's retirement, we are shocked to learn that Professor K. Mahmoud had transferred her service to Modibo Adama University, Yola. What a blow. This example cuts across the 8 academic departments in the faculty. This year alone, I'm sure about 6 professors are going in the Faculty of Education. And the question is, who will replace them? That's the big question we need to ask ourselves. Erosion of institutional memory. Long-serving professor members possess crucial knowledge about the history of the curriculum, departmental policies, successful and unsuccessful initiatives, accreditation processes, and relationships with local schools or educational partners. The loss of this collective memory can disrupt smooth departmental operations and strategic planning. Next is vacuum in leadership and service. Senior professors such as Professor Musa Balarabe shoulder significant administrative and service burdens, such as chairing key committees. At the moment, even after serving as the head of department for many years, Professor Musa Balarabe is chairing the quality assurance unit in the department. Now the question is, who will replace him as he retires? Their departure leaves a gap in leadership and adds to the workload of remaining faculty, particularly newer or untenured colleagues. Point number 2, impact on curriculum and program stability. Difficult. The retiring professors' specialized courses, particularly graduate level or foundational teacher training courses, may become difficult to staff. This can lead to course cancellations and over-reliance on adjunct or part-time faculty, or forcing less experienced faculty to teach outside their core expertise. I'll move to point number 3. Challenges for new and remaining faculty. Increased workload and burnout. Remaining faculty members are typically expected to absorb the teaching, advising, service, and administrative duties of retired professors. This dramatic increase in workload can lead to stress and burnout and detracts from their own research productivity and mentoring of students. Mentoring gap for junior faculty. Senior faculty staff are vital for mentoring new and junior academics, helping them navigate the tenure process, secure funding, and establish their research agendas. A rapid series of retirements can leave junior faculty members without the guidance they need for career success. Knowledge transfer deficit as another point. Without effective phase-out, a legacy program that vast practical knowledge or soft skills of a retired professor may not be successfully transferred to their replacements. Point number 4, strategies and financial challenges for the institution. Struggles with faculty renewal and diversity, while retirement can open position for new hires, which present an opportunity for greater faculty diversity and bringing in new research areas. Institutions may struggle to afford new hires at competitive market rates. Now, the challenges faced by young academics, I have mentioned increased workload pressure, loss of mentorship guidance, knowledge transfer gap, etc. Now, the way forward. Having raised so many challenges, what are the ways in which we feel we can resolve this problem? A comprehensive approach is needed to stabilize the faculty and foster a supportive environment for young academics to thrive. To address this challenge and ensure the faculty's long-term sustainability and growth, the following primary strategies are proposed. 1, retention and mentorship through contract appointments. To immediately bridge the gap of experience, a key strategy is to offer contract appointment to distinguished, recently retired professors such as Professor Musa Balarabe, who I know Prof. Alternately rejected that yesterday when we were discussing. But we in the department, we want that to happen. I'm happy that the DBC administration is here with us, and I hope the university will look into it and address this. Now, the deferred vision of BSc Ed Psychology. I know it has been the vision of Professor Musa Balarabe to introduce new programs in the department. When he was the head of the department, he presented the curriculum for BSc Ed Psychology, which was later refined refined during the 31st, during the Senate meeting, regular Senate meeting. Okay. Which was actually presented, and the program supposed to commence during the 2018-2019 academic session, but we don't know what is happening. 2 months ago, the faculty wrote as a form of follow-up, trying to see that the B.Ed Psychology program, which was approved alongside with B.Ed Adult Education and B.Ed Education Administration and Planning. I'm sure they have graduated 2 sets now, but the B.Ed Psychology, we don't know what is happening, whether there are roadblocks, whether there are failures, we don't know. So emergence of a strategic imperative. We have enhanced mentorship and support system, clear career and professional development pathways, improved working environment and conditions, and also strategic institutional actions as part of the suggestion. The last but one is strategic. The last point is strategic program development. The faculty intends to develop and launch new market-relevant academic programs. We are still working on them. At the moment, the B.Ed Early Childhood Education is ready for presentation at the faculty level, then at the Senate level. This expansion aims to attract new staff, diversify the faculty's offerings, and modernize the curriculum. I'm very happy to be here. I wish Professor Musa Balarabe long life, good health as he retired, from active service. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much, the Assistant Dean Faculty of Education, for that clarion call. I'm sure our EVC has listened to you with keen interest and rapt attention, and is going to do something positive is coming out of that, I am sure. May I at this juncture invite the Vice Chancellor, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Professor Ahmadu, who is ably represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Professor Bello to give his address. Professor, please a round of applause to
the chairman of this occasion, who is my Bello, a special guest, Alhaji Muhammad Balarabe, Professor Abdullahi Dalhatuddin, patient. Let me not forget my brother, Dr. Abdul Khalil Baba, the Director General of Water Resources Institute, other invited guests on the high table, the organizers of this important event, that is Zaria Psychological Society, the celebrant, fellow mentees of Professor Musa Balarabe, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. The Vice Chancellor, Professor Adamu Ahmed, I wanted to be here personally to grace this occasion. But incidentally, this morning, around the same time that this event is supposed to take place, we had visitors from NUC. 4 teams arrived for accreditation, which, as you know, accreditation is also an equally important event. And then there are so many other functions taking place around the university. So I, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, had to hold on to receive the NUC team so that they will go to various faculties and departments to start their assignment, and then later join you here. But that is why I came here late. It has never been our tradition. So we sincerely apologize to our royal father. It is not our intention to be here late. This is actually what happened. Now let me start by appreciating the Zaria Psychological Society for recognizing this distinguished professor for this honor. In fact, honor should be given to whom it is due. And I want to agree with you that Professor Musa Balarabe deserves this honor. This is a professor that has built a department. This is a professor that has produced so many PhDs. In one of the submissions, I understand that he produced more than 60 PhD holders through his journey. This is a professor that has mentored so many of you here, and I can see from the submissions and testimonies that most of you have made, especially his mentees. And if Professor Musa Balarabe has not provided that mentorship, certainly most of what we had this morning, would not have been what it is. So it's evident that Professor Musa Balarabe deserves this recognition. And on behalf of Ahmadu Bello University, on behalf of Mr. Vice Chancellor, we wish Professor Musa Balarabe a happy retirement period, and the university will always remember him for the services that he has rendered to the university, and will always appreciate him, coming to assist the university in one way or the other, because this is a process that has to continue. I want to also use the opportunity to appeal to all those PhD graduates and mentees of Professor Musa Balarabe not to let Professor down, because you have to keep on from wherever Professor stops, because this is an important academic function that must be continued. I want to also use this opportunity to comment on one issue, especially this issue of mentoring and then retention
I am aware, and as you are all aware, the university or the government of Nigeria has a policy on contract appointment. But then I believe that the universities will always find a way to put pressure and then to convince the policymakers to see how the likes of Professor Musa can still be utilized, even if it is on contract appointment. Because, like I said, we don't want as a university, miss people like him. And I want to also share with you that there are quite a number of likes of professors in some other departments whose legacies will continue to be appreciated by this university. And that's why we consider this, our gathering, as very important and very monumental. Now, let me say that from records, for those of us that maybe may not know, this is a professor that has pioneered a particular department into becoming what it is, all the number of graduates it has produced. And Professor Musa Balarabe is also the first professor of psychology in Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. For those of you that may want to know, he has also been a Commonwealth scholar on PhD program in the United Kingdom. Professor Musa Balarabe is also a member of several technical committees, UBEG, Abuja, NTI, Kaduna, UNESCO, UNICEF, World Bank consultant, and many other national and international commitments and engagements of responsibility. So on behalf of Mr. Vice Chancellor, I want to tell you that the university is very much appreciating the role and academic contribution that this individual professor has made to the services of Ahmadu Bello University, and we are very proud of it. And we want him a very fruitful and successful retirement period as he leaves the university services or retirement. So once again, thank you very much, and I wish us successful event and safe journey back our various destinations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That has been the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, in person of Professor Bello, who has made a remarkable speech by actually indicating the contributions of Professor Musa Balarabe, and he has actually indicated that the university would not allow the likes of Professor Musa Balarabe to go, that they are going to do anything possible, to see that they return him on contract basis. I think it's a privilege to the department. It's a privilege to all of us here. Thank you very much, sir, for that kind gesture. The next item on our agenda is the book launching. But before the book launching, which is going to be chaired by the chairman of this occasion, Alhaji Munir Faru, the Madakin Zezo, I would like to also reiterate the fact that among the scholars Professor Musa Balarabe has mentored, some of them are international scholars from, the ABU, Department of Educational Psychology is one of the departments that receives foreign students. Almost every now and then you see foreign students coming to the department because of the good foundation Professor Balarabe led. Many years ago, you see foreign students coming, some of them from Ghana. You could remember Professor Bakari from Ghana. You could remember Emaf. You could remember Prudentia from Cameroon. A lot of, and even one of us from Russia, doctor from Russia. So many international students, and this is not connected to the fact that Professor Musa Balarabe laid a very solid foundation for the department that has gotten international recognition. Please, more round of applause to Prof. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, the chairman of this occasion, Alhaji Munir Jafaru Madakin Zezo, it is your time to lead the book launching. But I would like to indicate that we have omitted among the launchers the family of Professor Musa Balarabe are among the launchers of this noble book So thank you very much, sir. Over to you, sir.
Professor, once a book and
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم الصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. The chairman of this occasion, in person of Mother Kinzazo Laji Munir Jafaro, my teachers, whether you call yourself a lecturer or a tutor or a teacher, all are teachers. In the protocol, I'm addressing the celebrant as my teacher, and there is another one at the extreme left-hand side, Professor Elias. All other protocols duly and respectfully observed. I'm here to stand in for the Honorable Speaker, House of Representatives, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, PhD, GCON, Ian Zazo. But before I get into what he has assigned me to do, I just have a short remark. And the remark came up at this launching from the eminent disciple of I think one as an eminent disciple, he knows himself. He was highly disturbed by the extinction of teachers of caliber, if I may use the word of late Yusuf Bala Usman to Professor Musa Balarabe, professor of exact standards. But they are going, and the end of the tunnel is getting a little darker. How do we get that? But I'm sure we have an apparent encouragement from the Deputy Vice Chancellor, 33 years. This, our work of educating people and giving people the only wisdom, the only gift that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives to humanity that He never collects back. He can give you power and He will take away the power. He will give you children, give you wealth, and even the life He has given you, He will take it away, but not knowledge. So we normally lose knowledge by the passing away of the knowledgeable people, and their replacements are not gotten. That is what we are working hard. That is why any country that has taken its educational progression with kind of undeserving commitment, then that country is heading to extinction. Sir, Professor Musa Balarabe, congratulations. And I believe as long as you remain alive, the disciples will continue and the general public to benefit from you. I'm saying my teacher because in 1985, here in Ahmadu Bello University, from the Faculty of Science, to be precise, Department of Chemistry, education was one of our courses. Anyway, I need to say that I'm not a semester product. I'm the almighty product. And whoever did almighty knows what I mean by almighty, whereby people are congratulated for having a receipt. So that time,
Professor Musa Balarabe taught us educational psychology. I remember still Dr. Ibrahim Aliyu, Foundation of Education, and Professor Adeya Nju, Curriculum and Instruction. Up to today, at least if I have forgotten a lot on education psychology, I have not forgotten the case of monkey in a cage and stick. I have not forgotten the Piaget theory of psychoanalytic behavior. I have not forgotten the dangling things in the minds of the youth. That is the problem of autonomy versus doubt, and so on and so on. They remain indelible in my memory. We thank you very much, sir, if that is the minimum word we can use. But then we from the Faculty of Science, we have certain, can I say resilience? Because usually the people of Faculty of Education, we consider them those so-called elders. They're always preventing people from holding Congress meetings because they think wider, they are more mature, they are this. So we get to despise them a little, particularly with that in the daytime we're in the Faculty of Science and at night we are at the Faculty of Arts and Social Science. I don't have to this occasion. Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin would have wished to be here with you, but when the date was sent for him, he is already engaged with his national assignment somewhere that he can not be unavoidably to be absent. He decides to still send me here on his behalf to extend his goodwill message and also rejoice with this celebrant for having attained this age and this service and the kind of people he mentored that will continue to keep the light rekindling. He sends his message of congratulations to you and requested me to come with a pledge of a meager amount of 20 copies of this book at the cost of 1 million naira. And in my own small capacity, you see, one good turn deserve another. Just day before yesterday, that was Saturday, my own students from Kaduna Capital School, they were celebrating a reunion of 30 years. I begin to wonder, 30 years, graduates, you know? Now today, I'm thinking of also Professor Musa Balarabe 40 years ago. They were there 95, I was there in the university 85, so 40 years. And you know, if you reach the age of 40 and you don't know your direction, you may know you will be directionless. So Mr. Chairman, sir, in also my own meager way, you see, your teaching usually provokes thinking and also extend at certain things. After all these years, as a scientist, I one day came across a formula by Albert Einstein, the professor of E is equal to MC squared. He also gave another thing that, just a minute, that education is inversely proportional to ego. And I remember ego and superego. So that means where there is, when you say inverse, that means one is increasing, the other one is decreasing. When you see superego, it means education is not there. But when education is there, there will be no superego, or it will decline to the minimum. Thank you very much. In my own little contribution, sir, as the Director General, National Water Resources Institute, Kaduna, and I think I'm just 2.5 months old. So I have not started seeing light at the end of the tunnel. But in spite of all this, I'm collecting 5 copies for the Institute at the total sum of 200,000 naira. I thank you very much for the opportunity given to me to represent the speaker at this. And as we are doing, I've narrated to him that what is happening here
And as soon as the launching is over, I will get the details of the account for the launching committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate your presentation, your kind words to our father, and then the launching of the book. We really appreciate and thank you very much.
But I will excuse the Deputy Vice Chancellor to go because the people from NUC are going back to Abuja now after that issue. But before he leaves, I would ask him to launch the book.
Thank you very much, sir. The chairman, Your Highness, the Monarchy of the I came here on the instruction of my Vice Chancellor, and I want to tell you that whatever transpired here, I will report back to Mr. Vice Chancellor. And I think the university, of course, will also launch the own copies of the book for the departmental library and for the central university library. But before I can do that, I will go to my principal so that I will know what is actually the carrying capacity of the university before I commit to the university. But actually, the university will not. But as directed by him, as directed by Bello, and in my individual capacity, not as the in my individual capacity, I launched a copy of this book with the sum of 25,000 naira. And as soon as I go back, I will leave the Vice Chancellor, and then the formal launching house of what is what is the amount, I think will be communicated to the organizers. So having said that, Mr. Chairman and other distinguished members of the high table, I was just informed that our guests are around. Some of them have started, because they have been arriving, they have finished their assignment and they want to take their leave to Abuja. So I told them to hold on. I will come and do the exit function for them on behalf of Mr. Vice Chancellor. Already 2 teams are there in the conference, so I also attend them for them to be able to start their journey and arrive Abuja at a good time. Thank you very much, and I wish the organizers a very successful event. Thank you very much.
An award for the Vice Chancellor.
Okay, come back.
One is the representative of Kaduna State Governor here, Senator Obasani. Barrister Khalid Suba, Senator representing one of London. Honorable Sadiq Ambo Abdullahi, around, or his representative. Professor Abdullah Ibrahim Musa, EC, Kaduna State University. Dr. Jibril Lawal, College of Continuing Education. Engineer Jamila Ahmed Mohammed, Chairman Zaria Local Government, around his rep. Professor Sadia Sani Dora, Director and Chief Executive, National Teachers Institute. Land to the book on our behalf.
Yes. Başına. Excuse me, excuse me.
The chairman of the KG meeting the already established protocols. My name is Ahmadu, the State Coordinator, National Teachers Institute, Kaduna. I'm also representing the Director and Chief Executive of National Teachers Institute, Kaduna, Professor Adia Sani Daura. So I launched this book at the rate of 50,000 naira for 2 copies.
Let's enter this.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am launching this very important book, family, and then 50,000 naira again, 5 copies for Mother Kinzozo, Chairman. I want to share something, Mr. Chairman. There was an occasion that was held some years back to Tukuru, and I was there with one of the judges around here, a lady. And when Professor was introduced, as a psychologist, made me laugh. I feel. It's a psychologist will never talk because you must have the same thing in the institution. So that is the example which psychologists are saying. They are mind readers, so to speak. But thank you, sir.
Very much. This is the PPS. Lada Musani Yara Sani. Maybe I will not check on your behalf. I'll take 2 copies of my Musani post of Fana so you know I'll collect the Mali Mohammed Lada Hassan Abdul Wahab, Bello Trading Company.
Alhaji Abdullah Bello Trading Company, CRM. Or his representative. Why is his representative?
Professor Mohammed Ibrahim, Director, Institute of Continuing Education.
Başı Mike. Başı burada yani.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Chairman, Father, Mr. Mondi, established protocols. My name is Professor Mohammed Baji, one of the mentees and disciples of Professor Arabi 2025 class, and God out of his way and the blessing I received from him is enjoying my last promotion to professorship 2024. It's a pleasure. I have to cut the tribute. I can say today, some of the lifestyles of Professor Larry are already characterized in me. Sir, I need to share one episode. One day when I came, when I was doing the PhD, and Prof was the HO, there was exam that time. When Prof was touring around, he met one venue empty, and he was furious about it. I was walking behind him and made an attempt to smile and laugh. The prof turned to Ibrahim. He was on to laugh. Thank God.
Who's been like many shaitan? The chairman of the occasion, Madakin Zazzau, Manir Jafaru, OFR, MNI, Madakin Zazzau, the Vice Chancellor, Ahmadu Bello University, ably represented by EP Vice Chancellor Administration, Bello Usman.
Don't worry, sir.
Justice Isaac Usman Bello, PhD, YFR, former Chief Judge of the FCT, High Court Abuja, and Professor Ilyas, our distinguished and dedication, other heads of departments here, Director, Institute of Agric Research, ably represented, former Vice Chancellors, Sasunis Mamman, and present Vice Chancellor, with whom have been together since the early 1980s, and a family friend too, distinguished professors, all those from Busama, members of the press present here, our distinguished students, family members, other very senior ranking personnel here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Today, my mind is a day for expressing my gratitude for a successful working career, culminating in retirement from service. First, I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving me life and health and the grace of parental, teacher, and mentor guidance, and which I believe made it possible for me to serve in peace and harmony, devoid of the trials and tribulations that has befallen many. I would like to thank the authorities of Ahmadu Bello University for giving me the opportunity in 1981 to serve as an assistant lecturer, and to today, 2025, as professor. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless the soul of Sir Ahmadu Bello, the Sultan of Sokoto, the first and only premier of Northern region, after whom the university is named, and elevate his place in Jannah Firdaus. Ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to bless and uplift the university. I would like to thank the chairman of this occasion, Madakin Zazzau Alhaji Manir Jafar Waifar Manai, my leader and mentor, for his support and upliftment, which spans over 50 decades. I think from the early 1970s, since school days. Justice Isaac Usman Bello also, PhD, YFR, former Chief Judge of the Federal Capital Territory, High Court Abuja, and Kulia of Zazzau. Plus Siraj Balarabe Yakubu, Barrister and Solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, and the son to Rakib Baba of Zazzau, have all been extending their hands of goodwill and care for more than 5 decades as well. I would like to thank the organizers of this conference and book launch for their goodwill and efforts
mark my retirement from service. We all deserve hearty congratulations for the launching of the Zaria Psychological Society, which is a timely and welcome development. My colleagues and students with whom I've worked for the past 35 years from 1990, when I started teaching and supervising postgraduate work at the master's and doctoral programs, also deserve a very special big thank you and appreciation for the unlimited support, cooperation, and collaboration I enjoyed from them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward them all abundantly and bless the souls of those that have departed. I would like to thank Professor Ahmadu Wahid, former Dean Sulalamid University, Professor Khadija Mahmood, who unfortunately is transferring her services to Lamido University, Yola, due to her husband's relocation there. Professor Aisha Mohammed, Professor Muhammad Ibrahim Kassi, Vice Chancellor of University, Professor Yunus Umaru, Professor Sunus Mamman, former Vice Chancellor of Umaru Musa University, Dr. Suleiman Balarabe, Deputy Vice Chancellor, University of Education Zaria, Professor Ibrahim Muhammad Baji, IBB University, Dr. Gidado Iko, Professor Hadiza Tukur, Dr. Haruna Muhammad, Dr. Mahmoud Buba, and very many others too numerous to mention. Please pardon me if I forgot to mention your name, because this was written list. The members of the organizing committee, because every teacher is a product of teachers. My first teacher of psychology, Dr. Mrs. Gaba, an American, in 1976. Dr. Asmanja Mukherjee, 1977, 1982, and Professor Noel James Entwistle of the University of Edinburgh in the UK, in 1976 to 1979. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward all of them abundantly. I note with gratitude Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that my recommendation for the name of Dr. Asmanja Mukherjee, the authorities of Ahmadu Bello University, sometime in 2012, to have his name inscribed in the University Wall of Fame in front of the Senate building was accepted. And he stands in the records of the university today as one of the pillars that contributed immensely to the development of the university. If you go to the front of the Senate building, that wall of fame is there in the middle. Alhamdulillah. I met Dr. Mukherjee in 1976 as a student. In those days, we took 2/3 of our courses, Faculty of Science, because I was in the science discipline, and 1/3 in the Faculty of Education. That's why I met him. He got a research grant from the World Psychological Association to conduct a study on verbal commands